Welcome to FedScoop TV and our special coverage here at the Red Hat Government Symposium. I'm Wyatt Cash and I'm here with Susie Adams, CTO for Microsoft Federal. Welcome to the program, Susie.
Thanks.
Terrific. I want to ask you a little bit about open source and in particular what benefits that you're seeing open source providing the federal government.
Sure. I think the biggest benefit to open source really is choice and flexibility. As we go into the next age of computing and we look at the new development models, it's no longer waterfall, it's really DevOps, right? And we're moving into this world of DevOps. People want choice and flexibility in the tools and the software that they're using. And so a great example of this is really the change that Microsoft has gone through in the past 5 years with helping our customers. We want to really be able to support any open source technology, in fact, any software on our platform, and we want our software to run on anybody else's platform. And so when you think about the ability to take any tool that's out there, right, from any of the vendors, any of the open source platforms that are out there, that give you the transparency into the code, that promote sharing between individuals and getting the best and brightest to work on things, it really is a win-win for everybody. And I think by allowing federal agencies to take advantage of open source and run it on the platform of their choice and be able to integrate and contribute to that community is just going to help them accelerate the pace of innovation.
Well, I know that as agencies look to adopt emerging and innovative technologies, can you kind of describe a little bit about how open source helps in that effort?
Sure, I think, well, if you look at just the pace of change and the ability for folks out in the wild to develop any open source technology, to look at companies like Microsoft, like Amazon, like Red Hat, be able to go out there and contribute to the open source community and really give the transparency into that code, gives people the ability to combine and integrate these systems with whether they're legacy systems that have been living in federal data centers for years, or the newer technologies. It really gives you the ability to integrate these technologies and take advantage of innovative capabilities without having to rip and replace everything. So, and then integrate DevOps into that process so they can more quickly and more agilely incorporate that innovative technology.
That DevOps part is obviously an important part. Next, I'd like to see your thoughts on container technology. We're hearing a lot about that. Can you describe what that is just briefly and how that's benefiting the advances in government?
Absolutely. So if you look at containers, really it's the next step. We used to talk about virtualizing everything. As we move to the cloud, everything is virtualized, logically shared instead of physically isolated.
Right.
And so if you just think of the CapEx, right, with virtualizing everything, whether it's the virtual machine or virtual network or virtual storage, containers really take that to the next level and give you better isolation, right, inside the virtualized world, and gives you the ability to really isolate the operating systems and the APIs and underlying libraries that sometimes cause challenges when you migrated existing systems. And so I think when we start to see container technology take off, the ability to containerize an app and move it from one cloud to another, right, or run that on any system in a hybrid space, is really going to help accelerate the pace at which agencies can take some of these legacy applications and legacy systems and either migrate those to the cloud or run those in hybrid environments across both their on-premise and the cloud.
And lastly, cybersecurity continues to be the preeminent IT concern. Can you talk a little bit about how industry can help agencies use open source to promote security?
Yeah, so security, whether you're using open source or proprietary software, security is always going to be a challenge. The code is only going to be as good, right, as it's been written. And if you can write bad open source code, you can write bad proprietary code. Really. So, but the big advantage, I think, to this new world that we live in is that through transparency, through people working together on in an open source community, to people contributing, right, to the value of others. In fact, at Microsoft, we actually have a key attribute of any of our IT professionals and developers and engineers is that they share their code with others to make others better. And so I think that through a combination of the concept of open source and the transparency and the ability to share best practices, yet coupled with all the best practices that we know, defense in depth, the security development lifecycle, right? You still have to do all those good things, but now you'll just have more transparency. And so I don't know that I could say that open source solves the security problem, but what it does do is make things much more transparent and promote sharing in the industry and between industry and government.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate that. So always a pleasure hearing your thoughts on technology and how it's being applied in government. Thanks for stopping by and visiting with us.
Thanks for having me.
Terrific. Look for more of our coverage on innovation in government at fedscoop.com. I'm Wyatt Cash. Thanks for watching.